Hello, and thank you for logging back in, listening towards my lectures. I want to discuss how archetypes are transcribing into codes, and in particular DNA. When you look at, for instance, a dog, you recognize there is a bark of a dog that even a little child could recognize, and for sure different dogs could recognize. When we could characterize it as a howl, but this particular vibration or structure of sound is something which is highly recognizable between various organisms. So now, if you ask DNA scientists and ask them how is it being transcribed into the DNA of the dog, they're just going to say that it's just a kind of arbitrary collection of various qualities or various characteristics, how they're finding the way into the DNA. For instance, vocal cords that are built a particular way, particular thrust of air pressure going out of the dog, and we hear barking of a dog. And so when we're talking about the barking of a dog, though, I would claim differently. I would say that there is some kind of an archetype which is beyond just an arbitrary collection of various characteristics or digits in the DNA code. Because if it is just like a collection of characteristics, it could be every time a different sound and not maintain that how-ness. But we realize that characteristic of how is being maintained throughout the dogs, and could almost in all cases could be recognized. We could give an example here about songs. This dog is really demonstrating. We could give an example of a song. Let's say the very famous song, the Hebrew song Hava Nagila. If you let a child sing it, yes, or if you let a choir of children, and then you make a piano version, and then like a very rubato string orchestra avant-garde version of Hava Nagila, all those are all Hava Nagila. Yet if you let a computer try to recognize or transcribe it into a wave file, each wave file is going to look so vastly different that the computer is not going to recognize it as Hava Nagila in all cases. Shazam, for instance, works completely different by the fact that it just takes a wave file that is always the same and compares it to its database. But here I'm discussing a song which behaves completely different, or is being presented completely different in each time. And yet, it's all Hava Nagila. And in the case of the DNA, yeah, if we take this analogy and again look at the barking of a dog and how it's transcribed into the DNA, it's all barking of a dog with small variations. However, the DNA somehow which means no matter how it's being transcribed in DNA, it would always sound like a barking of a dog. And I would claim that beyond the structural level, there's some kind of like an archetypical transcription, something which pertains to the essence of the barking of the dog. And we need a demonstration, but the dog is now not barking. So something which pertains to the actual essence of that thing, which could be recognized by every kid, which is being somehow transcribed into the DNA code. And that, I don't think scientists are up to par with that type of direction. And this is what I was wanting to bring up to your attention. And if there are scientists that listen, then perhaps it could bring up or bring your attention to a very important type of exploration.